Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Punting in Pauper, the show where I do my best to not absolutely stumble and punt my way through some Pauper games here. So, I'm your host, Gord. Let's get into the deck list. All right, so this is a red deck wins list, so it's a little bit of a combo between burn and just aggro. As you can see, we're playing a lot of one drops here, a couple two drops, and then we have Fire Blast on the high end of our curve here. But as we usually do, we will talk about our land base first, or our mana base rather. We're playing 17 mountains, which seems like a low count, and it is, generally speaking. But mono red decks, typically you kind of want to have two, maybe three lands in play at any given time. So like two in your opening hand, playing your threats, and then maybe hit that third one later on so you can do some more things. But anyways, as far as creatures go in the deck, we are running 4 copies of Foundry Street Denizen. So this is a 1/1 for 1 Goblin Warrior, and whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under our control, it'll get +1/+0 until end of turn. So if we can get a few out on the battlefield, this can become like a 5/1, just a really, really dangerous beater, really, really fast. So that's the first one. We are running 4 copies of my favorite goblin, the Bushwhacker. So it's a 1/1 for red, but we can kick it. And if we do that, and the kicker cost is a red as well. And when we do that, creatures we control get +1/+0 and gain haste. So there's a way we can chain that kind of stuff in the deck here, and we'll kind of go through that when we get there. But so that's the Bushwhacker. Now we have Goblin Cohort. Now this is a 1 mana 2/2, and I know what you must be thinking is like, wow, that's pretty good value, and it is. But these creatures do come with a downside. So the Cohort can't attack unless we've cast another creature spell this turn. It can still block, but it can't attack. So that's kind of the trade-off you get for playing a 1 mana 2/2 in red. So that's the Cohort. We're running 4 of those. And then we also have 4 Mog Conscripts, which are essentially the same thing as a Cohort. It's 1 mana 2/2 Goblin, and it can't attack unless we've cast a creature. So basically we're running 8 copies of the same card, but they do put in some work if the plays line up nicely. We're playing 3 Jackal Familiars, so it's a 1 mana 2/2 again. This one, it can attack regardless of whether you've played a creature spell or not, but it can't attack or block alone. So again, a little bit of a downside that you get for that's the downside of having the great rate on the card. So, all right, Mud Brawler Cohort. This is a really cool one. It is a 2 mana 1/1 with haste, but it gets +1/+1 as long as we control another red creature. So you can see a turn where we turn 1 Cohort, this Cohort that is, turn 1 that. Turn 2 Mud Brawler, and then that triggers our Cohort. It can attack. We're getting in for 4 that turn, so that's a pretty good rate. We also have a Valley Dasher here, so it's a 2/2, 2 mana 2/2 Human Berserker with haste, and it attacks each combat if able. So as you can see, the deck is aggressive. We're trying to get in fast, win fast. Rimrock Knight. So this is one of the throne cards, the split cards. So for 1 red, we can give a target creature +2/+0 until end of turn, and then for 2 mana, we can just cast Rimrock Knight as a 3/1. And I don't believe it can block. Yeah, so the knight can't block either. So, and then our last creature is our value creature, the Burning Tree Emissary. If you're familiar with this card, you know it can do some pretty crazy things. So basically, it's a Gruul hybrid mana cost, but we're only going to be paying red for it naturally. So it's a 2 mana 2/2, but when it enters the battlefield, we actually make green and red. So it's pretty cool. You can have these turns where you, let's say, you have your Cohort on the battlefield, you Burning Tree Emissary for another Burning Tree Emissary for Valley Dasher, or a Cohort or something like that. So now we're swinging with a 2/2, a 2/2, a 2/2, a 2/2, and for 8 damage on potentially turn 2. So it's really, really cool when that happens. Spells. All right, up first is Chain Lightning. 1 mana, 3 damage. Basically Lightning Bolt. It is at sorcery speed though, and then opponents can pay 2 red, and if they do, they get to 0.3 damage somewhere as well. So hence the Chain Lightning, nice flavor on that one. So we're running 2 copies of that. Then we're running 2 copies of Goblin Grenade, just give us some extra reach on the burn side of things. So as additional cost of this spell, we sack a Goblin, 1 red, and we just do 5 damage to any target. So this can help us punch in at the end of the game if we need just a big hit or opponent starts to stabilize it all. And we can just use it on a big threat too on the board if we have to. And then of course we're running Lightning Bolt. How can you not? 1 mana, zap anything for 3. Probably one of my favorite cards of all time. I know that's not saying much, but just awesome card. So you can get the deck itself for fairly cheap. Lightning bolts are a little more expensive, but just having bolts in Pauper or for any format really, just having a playset is nice. So they're worth the money. Last spell in the main here is Fire Blast. So this is 6 mana for 4 damage to any target, but we can also just sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay the mana cost of its spell. So if we need to, we can just sack some mountains and blow somebody out for 4. So and that card wins games. So it's pretty good. Onto the sideboard here really quickly. We are playing 4 copies, or rather 3 copies, sorry, of Electrickery. So it deals 1 damage to each creature we don't control if we overload it for 2 though. Just 1 creature if we just pay the 1 for it. Flame Slash is just 1 red for 4 damage to target creature. Flaring Pain for prismatic strand matchups and like Tron and stuff like that. It just damage can't be prevented for 2, and we can flash back for 1 red. Smash the Smithereens, blow up some artifacts, and it'll do 3 damage to that artifact's controller. So blow up Tron's prisms and affinity and stuff like that. And then finally we have Sparksmith, which is just kind of like a removal spell on a stick. It deals X damage to target creature, where X is the number of goblins on the battlefield. So that counts our opponent's goblins as well, but it also will do that damage to us. So, all right, that's the deck. Let's get into some games here. All right. We are doing some Punting in Pauper. And what do we have here? We have 2 lands. Okay, seems good. We have Conscripts, Familiar, Foundry, Dasher, and Grenade. So this is a pretty decent hand. We're going to keep this, right? And we are on the draw, which isn't ideal for our matchup. Looks like we're against some form of blue deck. So no turn 1 Delver. That's good. Okay, what do we draw? We draw Bolt, so that's actually a really nice draw. So we're just going to drop our Conscripts, and the reason we're doing this is because now next turn what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a Foundry Street. That'll turn on our Conscripts, it'll get to attack, and then the next turn we get in for swinging with our Dasher, which is going to trigger our Foundry, get in for 6. So it'll be 2 and 6, so that's a pretty explosive go. So opponent plays second island. We draw another Bolt, which is okay. So you might think, or you might be wondering, why not play the Dasher now and get in for 4 this turn? Well, because getting in for 2 and then 6 and then being able to hold up this Bolt is just strictly better because we don't know our matchup. So we'll get in for 2 with our Conscripts. I find with like this kind of deck, your like lines of play change quite a bit compared to like some other decks, but or not that your lines of play do, but like your decisions are a lot more on the fly. Just because one little thing can change everything. So they're going to accumulate knowledge. So they get to draw a card and then draw equal to the amount named in their graveyard. So they get to draw more each turn, but that's okay. So they play another island. Okay. So this is a control list of some manner. So we have Rimrock Knight. So what we could do here is we could drop a Jackal Familiar. And then we can do a punch through on Rimrock Knight. So get him for 4 this turn. 5. It's still 6 this turn. Yeah, we're going to play the Jackal Familiar. And it's just cast trigger, right? So I think Conscripts will still be able to attack, even if they counter it. They don't. Okay. And then Foundry gets pumped. Move to combat. We'll get him for 4. So there is an argument for us playing Valley Dasher this turn, but now, next turn, provided everything goes according to plan, then we get in for 2, 4, 6. Okay, so they're going to snap. So they're going to bounce Conscripts back to our hand. Okay. And then they get to untap. So Snap's a good card. They're going to do it again, perhaps? Nope, we get in for 2. All right. Alright, we'll just pass it over to the opponent, hold open our bolt. When we're playing like this kind of... Okay, Tragic Lesson, draw 2, and then discard a card unless you return a land to its owner's hand. Okay. So then they're gonna bounce an island back and play an island. Maybe play Delver. Oh, they did on our end step, naturally. Yep. So that was pretty good. Let's see what the opponent's gonna do here. As I was saying, you just kind of want to count the bird you have in hand and keep an eye on your opponent's life total. Because we have 3, 6, and 5 for 11. So if we can get them down to 11 without having to lose one of our creatures, we can get there. So anyways, they play Augur. Hopefully they whiff. Let's see. Opponent's still looking. Okay, they get Snap into their hand, so okay. And then they snap our Denizen. Makes sense. Tap 2 lands, so... Okay, they're tapping out for Spire Golem. Okay, so this is just like mono blue control sort of thing, right? Yeah, okay. So how do we get out of this? Do we bolt this? I don't think we do. Or do we bolt them? Like I think we just want to hold the burn in hand. Because we can... Yeah, okay. Because we're not going to get through, we're just going to be losing creatures to the Spire Golem anyways. So... Or... Oh, but this can't... Okay. If we draw... Okay. We're going to bolt this. If we draw a land next turn, we can play out our Dasher. And okay, so... no, didn't go the way I wanted it to. How do we want to do this? We will play out Mod Conscripts. We'll play out Boundary Street Denizen. So now, if they start putting stuff back to our hand, they do. It is what it is. But now we can kick a Bushwhacker next turn, and we'll lose something to the Spire Golem. But if we draw a land, then we can punch in for an extra little bit and maybe kill them. So bolting the Augur might have been the wrong play. Okay, so this deals 1 damage to each attacking creature. That's not very good for us. Okay. Are they going to swing in? No, they're not. Okay. So Burning Tree. So we can Burning Tree... we need 1 more land, unfortunately, to do a Burning Tree Bushwhacker turn. But we can still... Burning Tree Valley Dasher. Punch in. And we still have some goblins in hand, so our grenade just isn't a dead card. I think that's the way we're going to do it. They probably have counters here, but rather than counter this kind of stuff than our burn, because that's what we're going to use to get through. So yep, and they get to draw. And now they need to think if they want to leave their desert open, because that's free removal for them. Oh, I see. Darn it. Yeah, that really just kind of ruins our turn, so... We might be out of the race on this one, but that's okay. We're just gonna pass the opponent here. No point in attacking into that. We're just gonna lose both our creatures, so. Alright. What does the opponent do here? We're just gonna pass, okay. We draw conscripts. Well, let's try to resolve the conscripts. If Goblin Grenade was instant speed, that would just be fantastic. So spell, yeah. So 1 or less. So they're going to counter it. You got it. They get their sprite out. Alright, so... They're still just going to counter our stuff, and we just lose a Goblin. So, okay. No attacks. Just pass it back over. Our opponent is going to drop to 3. I mean, if we can try to get the cards out of their hand, that'd be good, but I find it hard to believe they haven't just drawn a card draw spell or in their hand right now, but oh, maybe they try to get in for 3 here. Okay, they get in for 1. You got it. We're not going to bolt that. We draw another mountain. So that's actually not the worst thing in the world. Okay, let's go to attacks. Do we want to get in here? Because they block here, then my only goblin left for that is... Nope. Opponent's got us in a really tight position here. But we kind of want to get rid of their stuff too. And we do have like threats in hand, so this might be a punt. But I'm just going to pass the turn. Yeah. Then we're giving them... No, we want to try to drag out a counterspell, I think. So we're just going to play out a Rimrock Knight. Because it's not our best creature, in my opinion. Trades down a lot with the 1 toughness. But, yeah, they're going to counter it. Spell Stutter, so... I just want to get cards out of their hand. Looks like we want to sideboard those Electrickeries for these sprites. Maybe bring in a few Flame Slashes as well. Okay. We'll end our turn. This opponent's going to drop to 2 cards. That Desert is really scary for us because it just kills our things. Kills one of our things anyways. Cohort. I find it hard to believe that they don't have counters in hand right now, but we're just going to try it. Okay. This I'm okay with. So, okay, we'll attack in. We'll just go for the big boy. So we're going to lose 2 creatures here, because they're going to tap their desert, kill our denizen, and then they're going to block something else. But hopefully we get in for 4. Sprite does have flash, so they could flash one in and then block. But then we got it out of their hand, at least, so... Okay, so they block the Cohort. They're taking 6. Okay. So then they're going to ping the 1 there. They did it after damage, though, which is interesting. So do we want to kill this now with our Bolt? Or do we want to save it for face? Because we have 8 points here to face. But that's not to say they just couldn't counter it. And then this way, they have to start playing more defensively with their sprites. We're going to kill the Golem. Oh, they force spike it. Okay. We don't have the mana. Can't pay 1. So. So if we draw a land, we can Valley Dash or Bushwhacker. Hopefully they don't have something. Okay. So they swing in with their 2 fairies again. We draw Chain Lightning. Let's just play Valley Dasher. Swing in. So this is presenting 6. They're likely taking 4. Don't want to assume too much. Snap an instant or sorcery? It is an instant. So okay, they're going to block him. We get him for 4. And now we could Goblin Grenade and then try to Chain Lightning, but we're really scared of counters here. So I think we just pass. They play an island, okay. So let's see what happens. They don't attack, okay. So it makes me feel like maybe they don't have a counter. Or we could just try playing a Cohort and keep the pressure on. And then they have to block, right? But then we're also giving them the chance to kick. But we want to get in. We want to get an attack before we Goblin Grenade. So, okay, that resolves. Yeah, we'll keep pressure up. Swing for 6. So they can kill 2 of our things here. So they block like that. Okay, and then they can put 1 on something with the desert after. Okay, and they do the... Okay, oh yes, because, yeah, I see where we got a little bit blown out that way. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Chain lightning. Do they have the counter? No, they don't. Okay. So, all we have to do next turn is resolve a Bushwhacker and then grenade them. Or draw another burn spell. So we have options. They draw another desert, okay. They get in for 2. Alright. So that, again, makes me feel like they do have a counter. But, let's see what we draw. Cohort. Let's play Cohort. Let's Goblin Grenade. Does it resolve? Yes! Okay. Woo! Alright, so we drew all the counters out of their hand, and we were able to finish with the grenade. So, let's go to sideboards here. What do we want against a control list? Well, we're going to bring in a couple Electrickeries, just to deal with those Spell Stutters. We don't need Flaring Pains. We didn't see much for Artifacts. Sparksmith, I don't think is necessary yet. So, we're going to go down 1 Goblin Cohort. We'll go down 2 Cohorts. Because we are basically playing 8 of that card. Do we need to change anything else? Is Flame Slash? I mean, it takes care of the flyer. So let's bring in 2 Flame Slashes. And then we'll go down 2 Mog Conscripts. And the reason we're doing it this way is just... So now we're still playing 4 copies of the exact same card. But, actually... Yeah, no, that's fine. So now we're playing 4 copies of the exact same card. But they have different names, so for anything that may, like... There is some removal in the format, I guess, is, where it'll go based off the creature's name. So we're just giving ourselves a little bit of variety this way. So we'll try it like this. So opponent will likely play first here. Okay. 2 bolts, cohort, and a bushwhacker. 3 lands, though. Which is a little more than we'd like, but I think we're still going to keep it, just because if we don't draw any lands to the rest of the game, and we just get action, it's a pretty decent hand. We're not going to have any turn 1 plays, though, which is okay, because we can just hold up bolt, then. Oh, and I clicked mulligan, didn't I? Yeah. That's embarrassing. Okay. Well, we got the Electrickery to deal with the sprites, wow, and we got... We'll send a mountain back, so... That stinks. Oh, no. Yeah, we'll keep... That hurts, because we had a decent hand, especially with them mulliganing down to 6. Yeah, that's just not ideal for us. We are on the draw, so let's see what we get. We get a Bushwhacker, so we have essentially the same hands we did last time now, so kind of worked itself out. We'll play Conscripts. They're gonna force spike it. Yeah. Okay. So I guess in theory we should have waited, but that's okay. Let's see what opponent does. They play Desert and Augur. Okay. They get a Tragic Lesson. Okay. So they get some draw. We draw Mountain. I think we'll just pass here. Really no point in getting our, like, Bushwhacker out. And they have deserts, so it's like, we can't attack in with it for a while. They can get in for 1 with their Augur, that's fine. We draw Chain Lightning. Play a Mountain. And we're just gonna kill the Boleth Augur now. Just get it out of the way. Hold up our instant speed stuff for other stuff. Okay, cool. And then we just pass it like that. Now we can still overload an Electrickery if we have to. I don't imagine they're going to be playing much for 1-drops here, but yeah, they're going to Tragic Lesson. Almost back up to 6 cards in hand. One of them is the Desert they picked up. But they just like really refilled their hand there. That accidental mulligan really hurt us, but we're going to try to come back from it. We draw a Conscript, so okay, we'll play Mountain. And we'll try to play a Conscripts. If they counter it, they counter it. Force Spike we can pay for, so alright. then we'll just pass. We have no other plays here, so. They play out another island. Alright. So if we just draw a quick creature here? No. Okay. So this can't attack. And if we kick a Bushwhacker, we're just going to lose the Bushwhacker to get in for 3 with the Conscripts. I don't like that trade. So I think we're just going to just wait back, see what we can draw. They're going to draw into all their counters, which is one risk we're taking, but we just want to have a more favorable turn before we start committing to the board, just to have it get countered. And I know last time we were trying to pull the counters out of their hand, but we're not gaining anything in any interaction if we are just going down cards ourselves. So I think this time we'll try to kick a Bushwhacker. Because if they only have 4 spikes, no, they got excluded. Okay, they get to refill. Well, they tapped their desert, so we'll try to do another one, and they counter it. Okay, that's fine. We got 2 of them out of their hands, so we'll get in for 2, because we did cast spells. So I guess there is an argument for that earlier about even casting them into counters. The conscripts would have been able to attack, but I don't think we made the incorrect play by trying to do it that way. Okay. Oh boy, this might put us into a bit of a lock. So they're going to put that on top of their library. They probably have a way to draw it right now. But we'll see. Now they got their Spire Golem. Okay. 2 Spire Golems. Oh boy. Okay, we will try to Burning Tree. Opponent thinking about it. Okay, resolves. What does that really gain us? We're going to lose that mana through phases. So we can't, like, attack in Goblin Grenade, but we could just straight up Goblin Grenade. Let's do that. Let's Goblin Grenade one of the Spire Golems. Let's activate the screams. They Blue Elemental Blast. Okay. So I think we have to scoop it up here, just because we're running time on the clock, and opponent's kind of getting into that position. We'll see what they play. We'll see what we draw, but we might just be done. Tragic Lesson, draw more cards. Then they're going to bounce Mystic Sanctuary back to their hand, and then they're going to play it this turn, and then they're going to get back. So we're locked. We're going to scoop it up here, and yeah, that accidental mulligan really did bad things to us. So that's just, you gotta watch your clicks. It's the one thing that's different than paper for sure, right? Is you're not gonna misclick in paper. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, we'll play first. We have one mountain. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What to do? 2 Electrickeries isn't even that good here, so I think we just mulligan. Okay, this is better. We'll keep this. We'll throw a mountain on the bottom. And they won't be able to counter our... they might be able to counter our cohort. They might force spike. So we'll see what we draw. Another mountain. Do we risk it? Don't forget to attack. Get in for 1. Cool. I'm trying to play around Force Spike the best I can. They could just have straight up the counter spell, but it's worth, in my opinion. So we'll Jackal Familiar. Cool. Resolves. We're just taking a little bit safer, is all, so we can like play around some counter spells and such. Because next turn we can still get in for 3 here with these 2 alone. We're holding up Bolt. They might have to, or they might want to try and draw. Yeah, so they're gonna accumulate knowledge here. Okay, And then they auger. Okay. So that's nice. So they're tapping out. We're going to kill it now. So if we draw a land, we just have a bomb turn next turn. So they got Deprive, which is a pretty good card. Yeah. So they're going to grab that counter. So we really actually want to land here, believe it or not. Rimrock Knight. Okay. That's not too bad. So we can cohort, which is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with that. Or we can Bushwhacker for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we'd rather have a 2/2 out on the battlefield though, right? So let's cohort. It can't get countered. Okay. We'll just do this now. Cast Boulder Rush on Familiar. And we'll get in for 8. So we'll see what opponent plays here. They might just hold up counter spells though. They they have 8 cards in hand, so and they can play the Golem if they want because they'll have the affinity, so they're gonna bounce that back. Okay. Then they get to untap 2 lands. Snap is such a broken card in this format. Holy smokes. Just a free bounce. You're getting paid to bounce. Okay, then they accumulated knowledge. Got it. What do they have now? Golem. Okay. So I think we're going to stay on our plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to Jackal Familiar. That'll trigger there. And then we're going to cast this with our kicker. Pump everything up. Get some triggers on the stack. We'll get in with the team. So if they block over here, they still take 6, 7, 8, go down to 1. So they have to block. We're presenting lethal. They block there. Okay. So 7, 8, 9. They're dead. Yes! Okay. Woo! We did it. Beat the mono blue Mystic Sanctuary deck. Cool. On to the next one. Alright, doing some Punting and Pauper here. Red deck wins. We win the die roll. See what we have in the opening hand here. Alright, so we have a cohort. 2 bolts, Bushwhacker, eh? I think we'll keep. I don't know the matchup yet, so we'll try it like this. Opponent mulligans a 6. Alright, they keep 6, so we'll play a mountain, and we will play a cohort. Alright. This means, providing they don't get anything down, we can get in for 5 next turn, which is pretty good for turn 2 play. So let's see what opponent has. They play Plains, okay, and Sarah's Attendant. Okay, so this is Soul Sisters? Soul's Attendant. Whenever another creature in the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. Yep. How do we want to do this? Yep, this works. We will bolt the Attendant, play the Familiar, and we can get in for 2. Cool. So that worked out okay. I was a little bit worried when that dropped, what our plan of attack was going to be, but that'll work. Now if we can get down a decent Bushwhacker, we get a... Okay, then a basic land cycle. So we're going to get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 next turn. That's pretty good. Okay, Soul Warden. We're going to kill that as well, but that's okay. Alright. We draw. No land, please. Yeah, land. Naturally. Okay. Bolt the Warden. And we will cast this guy with some kicker. And we want to get their life total down ASAP, because Soul Sisters can gain a lot of life pretty fast, so we'll attack them all. And they gain life off our creatures too, so there's some value to be had there. It's 7 to 10. But we have 1 card in hand, and they have 4. 5. So, we'll have to wait and see here. Okay, so they land cycle again. And they're getting a swamp, okay. So maybe we're not just straight Soul Sisters. Okay, so they're going to draw 2, lose 2. We don't actually hate that. See what we draw, though. No land. No land, please. Magic Gods. No land. It's Valley Dasher. Not bad. They can't respond to it, so we'll cast that. Means we're gonna get in for 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so then as long as they can't gain too much life, they're just in bolt range. Imagine if we had a bolt in hand right now, though. Oh man. Anyways, get in for 7. Okay, we got there. Woo! Nice. Sideboarding. I don't really know what deck this is. It's like a Soul Sisters thing, so we'll bring in Electrickeries. Just because they're good for all the 1/1s. And we'll go down 1 Conscript, 1 Cohort, and 1 Jackal Familiar. That seems okay. Run it like that. So, opponent probably going to play first. Oh, wow. I think we keep because we're on the draw, so if we can get a different 1-drop, it's pretty good. Like, I mean, a turn 1 Bushwhacker isn't the worst thing in the world either, but we'll keep this. Save a Jukabog. Okay. Exile our yard. You got it. It's gone. We draw a Denizen. That is pretty good. So that means if they play a Threat Out next turn, we can... Okay, they're going to divest, so they will... Reveals, you choose an artifact or creature card. Okay, so they can't hit the Chain Lightning, but they can take a Burning Tree or a Bushwhacker. They take the Burning Tree. Makes sense. And then they play another Jukabog, and it's gone. You got it. Alright. We draw. Fire Blast. Okay. Do we want to kick this? I think we do. So we'll cast 1 with Kicker. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. So that's not bad. That's still a pretty good turn 2 hit. Then if we kick 1 next turn, we can get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, close. Very close. Let's see. Duress. Choose a non-creature, non-land. Okay. So, probably going to rip Fire Blast, I think. Yep. Got it. So, opponent's just trying to play the control game now, so we're going to discard a card. Okay, we'll discard a mountain. And they play Plains. We draw. No land. Electrickery. That's decent. That's decent. So we'll cast a kick back. Get in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully that is. You never know what opponent might have, right? Although I don't think there is any like 1 mana white spell in the format that can just fog them right here. So, okay. Cool. So next turn we get in for 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do want one more thing. So okay, they got a Talisman. Tap that to gain 1. Yep, you got it. We draw Valley Dasher. So we'll play out Valley Dasher. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we can Chain Lightning them next turn. Alright, so we attack with everything. I'm down to 3. And let's see what opponent does here. So they can gain 1 from their Pristine Talisman. What's this gonna be? Daunting Defender. Source would deal damage to a cleric creature you control. Prevent 1 of that damage. Oh, okay, yeah. So opponent scoops it up. Yeah, so even with that on the battlefield, we would have gotten in for, they block a 2-2, right? We would have gotten in for 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then we would have had the Chain Lightning in hand, so cool. On to the next one. Alright. Punting and Pauper. Red deck wins. No lands. Shipping it back. Okay, we got one land. So we'll keep this one, I guess, and we'll put back the Rimrock Knight. Right. We are on the draw against... Okay, interesting. I'm not familiar with this list yet. This is just like a mono black aggro, potentially. So, okay. We draw second Bushwhacker. It's not awful. We're just going to play out our conscripts. If they remove it, they remove it just the way it is. Or if they play a threat, then we're gonna bolt it next turn if we don't draw a land here. We'll see what happens. Okay, so blue-black? Ooh, Infect. We're playing Infect. Okay, so Danger Zone. Mountain would be sweet. We draw conscripts. We don't want to take any Infect. We're just going to kill that. We don't get to attack this turn, but that's okay. If we would have drawn a land there, it would have been really nice, but... So, okay, another Infect creature, the Everclawmere. And when it comes blocked, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Okay. And they're going to equip it. So they have a 3/1. Got it. So, what do we draw? Mountain. Okay. Not too bad. What we do is play conscripts. It doesn't get trample or anything, does it? No. So, okay. We'll attack for 2. I doubt they'll block. And then we'll leave this back to block. Bluff that we have the mountain open. So they play a snow-covered island. So they're going to swing. Yep. Okay. We have no problem blocking here. It's going to get bigger. We're not going to kill their thing. But we just don't want to take any infect that I think. What do they have now? Plague Stinger. Okay. So we're getting put into a bit of a situation here. The thing is they're probably not going to block, though, right? So let's go... How do we get the most damage in? Bushwhacker is 5. Cohort is 4. But they're, like we said, they're probably not going to block, so we just try to out-aggro them, I guess. We've tempoed the best we can. We take 4 infect next turn. Now, if we draw a mountain, we can do 2 Bushwhackers kick, which presents a lot of damage, so they likely have to block. So what are they going to play here? Okay. It's +2/-1. Okay. So they're going to have to use another spell on it? Okay. So they've used their hand up entirely. Okay. We take it. 4 infect. We draw mountain. Oh baby. Kick it. Did we make a mistake? Did we get too excited? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I think we made the right play. That's good. Whoops, don't get ahead of ourselves. Okay, resolves. Cast the second one with kicker. Get it down. Resolves, so this is 7, 8, 9. So that's not a bad swing. So can we present lethal next turn? Yes, we can. So they might not go all in. We'll have to see what they drew. Preordain? Okay. So they do get to redraw. They do bottom both. Okay. What'd they find? Another preordain? Ooh. +3/+3. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they got us. We'll let them hit. They got us. Okay. To out-aggro the aggro deck. Oh, they're gonna escape. Sure. Makes sense. They got us. Okay. So, Electrickery's in. Cohort's out. 2 Flame Slash. For 2 Rimroms. We were pretty close there. So, hopefully we can out-aggro them on the second run here. But we will play first. We have 1 mountain, but we're going to keep it. Hopefully we draw another one. Because now we know we need to go on the aggro. They don't seem to want to block all that badly. So, and neither do we for the most part. So we're going to just mountain and cohort. And then we mountain conscripts, or if we don't draw land, we can conscripts next turn and get in for 2. If we do draw mountain, then we can dasher. They got their bone splitter, okay. We draw cohort, okay. So in that case, we conscripts and swing for 4. Or pardon me, 2. And then we do have, so we have 5, 6, 7, 8 in hand for burn. And then we can just play a Bushwhacker next turn, swing for 4 if we have to. So they haven't found a black source yet, but they might have an Ichor Claw Mirror here. Lotus Petal, okay. Yeah, so that'll get them their black source if they need that. Oh, we should have brought in Smash for Smithereens for the Bone Splitter, but that's okay. Are they going to equip it now? Nope, they are going to preordain. Put 2 cards on the bottom, so okay. Hopefully they missed what they wanted. Alright, what do we draw? Chain Lightning. Well, let's Bushwhacker. Without kicker. Swing for 4. Because now, next turn... So how much damage do we have in hand? 9. We have 9 potential burn in hand. Not bad. And we do have removal should we need it. So they're going to get in for their 3 here. What are they going to do with it? Preordain? Okay. So they haven't found another black source by the looks of it. And I think opponent's really digging for one. So I'm extra tempted to just kill the Plague Stinger next turn. But we'll have to wait and see what we draw. Because if we draw a mountain, I think we just cohort or dasher. Do they swing? They do. Okay, we're going to take that 3 infect. Okay. We draw a mountain. Okay. We're going to do this. Swing for 7. And then hope and pray that they don't have what they need to pump this up enough to kill us. And it's very, very likely that they do. Yep. So that's 6. So they only need to pump it 1 more time. Yep. They got us. They got us. Well, it was close. We should have killed that. We learned our lesson against playing Infect. So, good games to the opponent, but they just out aggroed us. We were close, right? Next turn we would have been able to like bolt grenade. So that's kind of what my thought process was there. But okay. All right. So how did we do this week in Punting and Pauper with our mono red deck wins list? And for the most part, the deck did what it claimed to do. It won. So in our first matchup there against mono blue, we were able to beat them in the first game by essentially drawing out their counters because we're playing such efficient creatures. So when you play a 1-drop and they have to spend 2 or 3 mana to counter it, you know, eventually we're going to have more resources than them in the end, and then that's how we pulled that one ahead, is by going a little bit wide. In the second game, I misclicked, mulliganed a pretty reasonable hand away for something that wasn't as good, unfortunately, but we powered through it. Unfortunately, opponent was able to get a Mystic Sanctuary lockdown, so they were using Tragic Lesson to draw 2 and then return the Mystic Sanctuary to their hand. Now, the Mystic Sanctuary, when you play it, it'll come into play untapped untapped, pardon me, if you have 3 or more islands already, and then you get to put an instant or sorcery back on top of your library. So you'll see then that they can Tragic Lesson, pick up the Sanctuary, play Sanctuary, put Tragic Lesson back on top, and that loop kind of goes. So we did scoop once we saw that that was in place. On MTGO, you're timed, right? There's a timer, like chess clock style. So when that thing starts to happen, usually I like to just scoop it up, go to the next one, as to save any time on the clock for ourselves. So, but in the end, we were able to aggro them out in the third game, so we pulled off the win, and that felt pretty good. Now in our second game was kind of like that white-black Soul Sisters. I don't know, hate bears, or not hate bears, but hate deck anyways. We were just able to out aggro them. We ran ideally, but unfortunately we didn't get to see the deck do like the really crazy stuff that I can spit out. But for the most part, that was a good job of showing the way that this deck can just get in for a lot of damage very consistently. And then, because that game was so quick, I included a bonus video this week. So we did play Infect, and there was a lot to learn. I hadn't played Infect yet in this format, so I wasn't really sure how they were playing their pumps and stuff. And I messed up in the second game by not killing their threat with the bolt we had. I got a little bit too greedy, and especially when they were starving for black mana by the looks of it. But that's okay. We learned a lot. They out aggroed us, but that's okay. I wanted to show that I know. In fact, can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to play against, because you're effectively at 10 hit points or life total in this case, because the way that Infect works is rather than dealing damage, you may have noticed that our life total never changed. We're dealt poison counters, and if you get 10 poison counters, you die. So it's a different strategy, and it's very explosive, and we learned a lot, and next time we play it, hopefully we have a better result. As far as the deck goes, again, it was nice and cheap. The lightning bolts are a little bit expensive, but they see a lot of play. So, and by a little bit expensive, I mean they might have been $5 for the playset. Very worth getting in general. I would probably add Red Elemental Blast to the sideboard. I think that's just a really good red card to play for when you're up against the blue matches. We didn't sideboard properly in a few of the games. We probably should have brought Smash the Smithereens in against Infect as well. But that's okay. If you like this kind of deck, I definitely recommend giving it a try. There's a lot of different builds you can go. You can go into the more burn route with the spells like Lava Spike or Rift Bolt, or you can go into like the Goblin Tribal. Goblin Bushwhacker is just a great card, so it's a good build around. So if it's something you're interested, check it out. And I just want to thank you all again for joining us here on Punting and Pauper, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.